Welcome to another session of Learn with Veer Sagar. In the last session, we talked about what happens when you have team members who are not cooperative, who don't get along with each other, and are not prepared to help. How do we make them become part of the team, join in, and contribute? Now, today we will talk about having got them to now in the mood to join in and contribute. How do you make this into a more permanent organization, a more permanent relationship so that going forward, they carry forward whatever they have brought here today? So, this was done with a bit of cunningness, bit of slyness, and a lot of thinking. The first rule we created, of course, now the objective was to get all this first and second level people together and then between them work out how do we want to get from where we are today to where we want to be. What do we need to do? Who needs to do what? When and how do we get there? So for that, we created the people into 4 teams. And the rules we followed here is that we made sure 2 departmental heads who totally disliked each other were in the same team. But also made sure that no departmental head and his assistant were in the same team. Because if the boss and his subordinate in the same team, then one of them is redundant. He or she will not participate. So we had to make sure that boss and his subordinate are not the same team, and people who hate each other, totally dislike each other, are in the same team. So these are the 2 rules we followed. And then we created the 4 teams. Then the thing that was to be done was each of these groups had to think through, okay, where do we want to go from where we are today, and what we need to do to get there, and who will do what. The rules we created was that each one of us, each one of the teams had to now work out, okay, what do they need to do to get from where they are today to where they want to go. Who will take what action, when, and what support is required. This way, we got each of these groups, and they call themselves by very fancy names. I don't remember the names, but each one had a group A, group B, group C, group D, all had names by which they were known. And they said each group gave suggestions. Okay, this is what we need to do to fix this problem. We will own up this problem, and this is what we need to do to fix the problem. Group B said this is what we will do, and this is what needs to be done by us to fix this problem. So each group had ownership of a problem and then worked out the delivery of the solution. In the evening, we then had a table tennis match tournament between A, B, C, and D, so that of competitiveness came in. So the ownership of the group and a sense of competition. And it was a very hard fought tournament. Believe me, it was a very hard fought tournament. And then we got into actual action. And since each group owned a issue, they had problems, they had authority for solution. And since there were people who didn't get along with each other in that group, but now they are members of the same group and they have to deliver. So they identified with the group. So what we did was we removed the departmental identity, the company identity, and created a new identity of a group. That they were members of this group and this group had to deliver this. So they now identified themselves with a group, and therefore the fact that they did not get along in their professional lives as their departments or whatever they were handling did not come in the picture. They actually went backwards to help each other. This I thought was a very smart thing to create a virtual organization on top of a real organization where we had people who were now created for delivery of a particular problem, for resolution of a particular problem. They had empowerment and they had the resources. So, this way, the team actually got together, they gelled, and they started delivering. So, for a long time, for almost like a year, there were no departments. There were these groups that were delivering, identifying issues, finding solutions, and delivering. So, we were able to very smartly manage that by getting the identity removed, the silos broken, right, and making them identify themselves as company, as somebody to deliver a particular problem. We were able to fix this, get the groups to work together, remain friends, and then deliver this. So, before I finish, I have a request. If any one of you feel that you have some questions or some issues that you may want to be addressed, please let us know, and I'll be happy to include that as one of the subjects in a subsequent talk. Till then, it's Veer Sagar saying goodbye.